I personally think that this question is kind of hard. We don't have a lot to go on. And I think you have to understand a lot of the depth of what Wolf is saying here and the weird language that she's using. But let's take a look. So very literally, what we're tasked to do is look at this word sixpence and say, okay, in these lines, what does it mean? So here it is, and here it is. So what does she say? It was thus that they won us the right to our brand new sixpence. It falls to us now to go on thinking, how are we to spend this sixpence? So they're clear in the question that this is not a literal piece of money. They're spending something else. So you can kind of stop right there and ask just what is something that could be spent in a figurative sense. I would also maybe just read extra though. Let's get some more, context. Plus one sentence rule kind of helps here. So if we go back a little bit, that excuse shall not serve you, madam, as you know from your own experience, and there are facts that prove it. The daughters of educated men have always done their thinking from hand to mouth, not under green lamps, at study tables, in the cloisters of secluded colleges. They have thought while they stirred the pot, while they rocked the cradle. It was thus that they won us the right to a brand new sixpence. So it's saying women have had to, be in the house instead of, thinking at study tables in colleges, right? So women weren't at the college, they were caring for the children. They were stirring the pot, like making food. So, okay, keep going. I'll skip a little bit. Let us think in offices and omnibuses while we were standing in the crowd watching coronations and Lord Mayor's shows. Let us think in the gallery of the House of Commons and the law courts. Let us think at baptisms and marriages and funerals. Let us never cease from thinking, what is this civilization in which we find ourselves? Okay. What are these ceremonies and why should we take part in them? What are these professions and why should we make money out of them? Where in the short is it leading us, the procession of the sons of educated men? So she's talking about being mixed in with all these other people now. And so hopefully that just kind of points you to this idea of opportunity. If it doesn't, I don't really know. I mean, if you didn't understand what her figurative point was here, I don't know how else you'd kind of get this. She's definitely being metaphorical. Maybe from the rest of the passage where she's talking about women and women's rights, we can get a sense that probably is talking about opportunity. We can also look at some of these other choices and think well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. How do you spend tolerance? That doesn't make sense. Tolerance is not something that can be used like money can. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. Knowledge, maybe you spend your knowledge, you show off your knowledge, but we're not talking about anyone being smart. I know that it says sons of educated men, but again, she's kind of being metaphorical here, and she's just talking about women also now getting the opportunity to have an education and being involved in these professions. And again, perspective, I don't know what that even means, to spend perspective. But I do understand the concept of spending opportunity, right? You're given an opportunity and you seize that opportunity and you make use of it. It fits with the idea of money a little bit. Again, it's metaphorical, but I get it. Weird question, and occasionally you're going to get stuff like this on every SAT. I think there's maybe one or two questions where the literal meaning of the words doesn't necessarily match with what they're actually saying. Usually you see one of these in the literature passage where someone's being sarcastic or something. Here it's the kind of global conversations passage, but the idea is the same. This is rare. If you're getting this stuff wrong, it's not really the end of the world. There are way more cases where the answer is just literally stated in the passage if you can find it. That's the thing to worry about, because if you're missing those, then you're not good at finding the answer when it is there. So what hope do you have for the times when it's not as clear? Focus on the more literal stuff first, and as you get better at understanding that, this will come naturally.